Hello guys, and welcome in this tutorial on how to build a chatbot using Python, KivyMD, and ChatterBot library. Before we begin, I'd like to show you the kind of chatbot which we'll be building today. So here in your screen, you are seeing a chatbot which I already developed and I ran it. So we'll be testing it and see how it responds to our input. And this is the kind of bot which we'll be developing through this tutorial. So first, I'll try and ask it some simple question. I'll start by greeting it, and then I'll ask it a question about computer, because I train it using a dataset which is from computer topic, and this dataset is pre-installed with your ChatterBot library. I'll be showing you how you can train using a pre-installed dataset, also how you can train it using your own dataset. So let's start and interact with it. Alright, I'll start by greeting our bot here. As you can see, it responding. Simple. Okay. I'll go direct and ask it some computer question and see how it's responding to that. Alright. I already have a question here in my screen, so I'll just be copying and pasting them. Simple like that. Okay. Copy one question here. Okay. Which is better between Windows or Mac OS? Respond here. Also, I try and ask it another question. Ask it what is microprocessor. Right, also I try and ask it ask it who are you, and see how it responds to this question. Alright, so this is the kind of bot which we'll be developing through this entire tutorial. As you can see here, our application have a scroll view behavior, just like other chatting application. I'll be showing how you can build this user interface using KivyMD, how you can train your bot using ChatterBot library, and so on. So I'll close this one and we'll start building our application. Okay, I'll create a new file here. Right, my folder is created in my other screen. Let me pull this one. Alright. Okay. So let's rename this folder. Okay, I'll give it the name of donor, because I call our bot donor, but you can call it any name which you prefer, but I prefer calling it donor. If you prefer any other name, you can call it with that name. Alright, I'll open our folder with Visual Studio Code. Okay, and I'll create a full file here. I'll create main. This file will be containing our Python application. Also, I'll create another file which will be containing our kivy code. Okay. So before we continue, I'd like to give you a prerequisite for this tutorial. This tutorial, if you are just a beginner, you can start some other tutorial. You can search on YouTube some other tutorial like about Kivy or about Python if you don't know Python, because I won't be explaining any basic of Python or basic of Kivy and KivyMD. So if you don't understand them, you can just go and check other tutorial in YouTube. Then you can come and complete this tutorial. Right, and also you need to have ChatterBot installed in your machine. Also, you need to have a Python installed. Also, you need to have Kivy installed, Kivy and KivyMD. So to install Kivy and KivyMD, just people install KivyMD. Is here, install your ChatterBot. In this tutorial, I'm using ChatterBot version 1.04 because the latest version of ChatterBot have some conflict with the latest version of Python. So if we want to use the latest version of ChatterBot, which of course I would suggest, but you will have to downgrade your Python and use Python 3.8 because I check online, some people say if we use Python 3.8, ChatterBot, the latest version of ChatterBot won't have any conflict with that version of Python. But I'm using Python 3.10. And if you are using the latest Python 3.10, 3.11, you need to downgrade your ChatterBot version and use ChatterBot version 1.04, which I'm using here, and it works fine. It's the latest version of Python. So to install it, you just need to add your version of your ChatterBot in part of your code here. Right. If we install and everything is working fine, then we will be continuing to keep developing our application. Alright, so by starting, I delete this one. Okay. And I'll start by importing our libraries and creating the whole scheme of our project. So we start by importing here, importing KivyMD app from our KivyMD. KivyMD.app, we will import MD app. Right. KivyMD.app import. Sorry guys. Okay, also we need to import more the stuff from kivy.ui, yx, screen manager. Here we will import the screen and the screen manager. Okay, we are creating our class here. So class that up. Okay, so we'll get up a class that up. This class will be inheriting from our MD app library. In here, I'll define build. Here, I'll define them here. We'll explain later. Okay, so I'll create a variable called ACM. This variable will be taking our screen manager library, or we can say our screen manager class. This is what we will be returning in our application. So before we continue, we need to create another class. So this class will be containing our chat screen, and I will name it chat screen. Also, it will be inheriting screen class from our kivy. A class here. So in this class is where all of our kivy language interface will be loaded, and then we will load this class down here in your chat, in your application class. So in here, we need to add this class. We need to add this chat screen class in our screen manager as a widget. So like thing dot add widget. But the widget we will be adding is our chat screen class, and you will give it a name. Here we call it chat. Right. So down here we need to run our chat app class. So we'll write if underscore name equals underscore main we call chat app it run. We'll be running application down. Okay, so now we done with that. Let's create our user interface here in chat.kv. So the class which I created here, this chat screen.app, I also need to create here because it is a class which will be containing our user interface. Okay, so in here, we write chat screen. Okay. Inside the chat screen, create a box layout. Give it orientation of vertical. You can choose to use vertical or horizontal, but I want to align our items in this box layout in vertical alignment, but you can choose if you want to align it in horizontal alignment. If you want to align items in horizontal alignment, you don't need to add vertical here. You can just remove this orientation by default if you use horizontal alignment. Okay, now I'll go on and create the whole interface of our application, and you will see later. I'll try and explain other thing. So, but now I'll create the whole interface so you can just have a view and see how things will be looking. So, give all the spacing here. Give it a spacing. Spacing of 20. Okay, we need to create toolbar here. In MD we write MD up bar. It will give it a title. So our application is called donor, so I'll give it a title of donor. You can give it any title you want. And in left action item, I will add a robotic icon. So left we will add a robot icon. Okay. Here I'll get another box layout. This is int of y will set is int y will set equals to none. Then we will give our own height of 40. Okay. Here in this box layout, get a label. We get MD label. I'll give it a text. This text will be like a hint text or information text. We'll be telling our user what our bot can do. So for this tutorial, I just write a simple text, but in your own, you can just write the right information which you think your bot will be giving to the user. So yeah, write here. You can ask me anything. Right. Yeah. I'm here to help. this bot will be helping our users, so our user can ask any question, our bot will be helping also. I'll give this text a color. I'll give it a black color, but I will add some gray of 5. Also, I'll give it a font style. Caption. Also, I needed to give it a horizontal alignment and vertical alignment. I want it to be centered in our box layout. So in vertical, I write so in vertical, we'll be using alignment, and on horizontal, we'll be using alignment. For vertical, we write alignment, align, right equals to middle. And for horizontal, we write align. It will align our text in center. So in horizontal, use the center, in vertical, use middle. Okay. Also, we need to add a scroll view. Scroll view. Here also the box layout. Give it ID. So in this box layout is where our user input and our AI response will be displayed. I'll give it a chat area. It will be like a chatting area. Give it adaptive height. Adaptive height will set to true. Orientation here we set to vertical. I'll give it a padding. Give it a padding of 20. You will give a spacing of dp. A spacing of 12. So spacing is how our items, let's say the chat box which will be containing our user input, it's a chatbot which will be containing our response, will have a spacing of 12. That's why I give it a spacing 12. Okay, and this scroll view here, this scroll view is what will be giving our application a behavior of scrolling. When you're chatting with someone, let me pull our application and I'll show you. Okay, so scroll view is what give our application this behavior. Let it try and write some text here. So you can see here, you can scroll and I can see the top text from where our chatting starting at the bottom. All of this functionality or this behavior, we can achieve this using a scroll view widget. So this scroll view is what contains that behavior, and in this scroll view we had a box layout which will be having a chat box and a response box. Okay, so let's continue. Alright, so I'll just finish by creating a box. This box layout will be containing our input bar. So give this box a size int y equals to none, because I want to give this my own height. I'll give it a height 50. Okay, I'll give it a padding of dp40. Spacing with a space of dp10. Okay, so md text field, this widget will be taking our user input, give it the ID of message, like a message you are sending. Also, need to give it a hint text or like a placeholder, so user can know what he should type in our text field. Enter your message. Here, user can do. That is why he should put his message. Right, I'll go on and create this one. Then I'll create a button. Will be done with it. Font style, I'll give it a font style. Caption. I need to give it a font. Give it a margin. Any build, set it equals to false. So when you write the message, let's set it to true. Because if I set it false, you will just be writing the message in one line, no matter what long your message is, but set it to true so that when you write your message, you can be changing. Okay, margin will set it equals to true. Okay, give it a mode of round. We'll give it a maximum text limit. Yes. Give it equals series. Also will give it a helper text. Help underscore text. Be honest, guys, we don't like creating user interface. Kind of tiresome sometimes. But user prefer. Okay, I'll give it a size hint x. Is hint x, I'll give it 0.85. Okay, now let's create our button. I will use MD. Button. And button. Icon, will give it an icon of sandy. or text we send. We will give it a size also. It's width 0.5. Okay, let's run your application and see how it. Great, guys. So this is your application and this is how it looks. Right, and right here. You can see here when I go over 150, give me a red card to show that exceed my number. Right. Okay, guys, this is it for this episode. The next episode will be dealing with training and displaying our user message and our AI response. Until next time, guys, have a good time and thank you for watching this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe and to hit a bell icon so that next time when I'm uploading the second version of this tutorial, you should miss it. Thank you, guys, and have a great time.